In this video, we'll be taking a look at two NFL games happening on September 18, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these two NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Arizona Cardinals versus Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders are set to welcome the Arizona Cardinals this Sunday in a battle between two teams with high hopes but both off to uneven starts to begin the season. The Raiders were defeated 24-19 by the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 1, while Arizona was walloped 44-21 by the impressive Kansas City Chiefs. Arizona looks to tread water while star receiver DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for the first 6 games due to an offseason positive drug test, while the Raiders look to build some consistency after a hyped-up offseason that saw them add blue chippers on both offense and defense. The Arizona Cardinals have won 8 of their last 9 road games. Kyler Murray is completing 64.7% of his passes for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Greg Dortch and Marquise Brown have combined for 106 receiving yards and 1 touchdown, while Eno Benjamin has 3 receptions. The Arizona Cardinals' ground game is averaging 103 yards per contest, and Murray leads the way with 29 yards on 5 carries. Defensively, Arizona is allowing 44 points and 488 yards per game. Budda Baker leads the Arizona Cardinals with 13 tackles. Rashard Lawrence has 1 forced fumble, and Marco Wilson has 2 pass deflections. The Las Vegas Raiders have split their last 8 home games. Derek Carr is completing 59.5% of his passes for 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Devontae Adams and Darren Waller have combined for 220 receiving yards and 1 touchdown, while Brandon Bolden has 2 receptions. The Las Vegas Raiders' ground game is averaging 64 yards per contest, and Josh Jacobs leads the way with 57 yards on 10 carries. Defensively, Las Vegas is allowing 24 points and 355 yards per game. Jonathan Abram leads the Las Vegas Raiders with 12 tackles. Nate Hobbs has 1 forced fumble, and Denzel Perryman has 1 tackle for loss. The Cardinals are 18-7-2 against the spread in their last 27 road games and 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. The Raiders are 1-6 against the spread versus a team with a losing record and 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games on grass. The under is 4-1 in Cardinals' last 5 road games. The under is 5-1 in Raiders' last 6 games overall. The Cardinals are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 meetings. The Cardinals could be missing key players on offense besides DeAndre Hopkins. W.R. Rondale Moore is questionable with a hamstring issue, while O.L. Justin Pugh is dealing with a neck issue. Murray will have to build rapport with new W.R. Marquise Brown in a hurry, and against a Raiders defensive front eager to get to the quarterback, may find it difficult to go through his progressions that develop more slowly. This is also a reunion between new Cardinals center Rodney Hudson and his former team, so there will be plenty of emotions on both sides. The Raiders, for all their offensive issues against the Chargers, still managed to move the ball downfield with their passing game. Testing Isaiah Simmons' ability to command the defense on field should yield great dividends for the Raiders. I don't want to overact from one game, but I'm afraid the Arizona Cardinals aren't all that good of a team this season. Of course, it doesn't help that DeAndre Hopkins isn't playing, but their defense was god-awful last week across the board. The Las Vegas Raiders had their moments against a good Chargers side and still had a chance to win despite 3 turnovers. With a game under their belt and at home, I'd assume the Raiders will play a cleaner style of ball. Things can change with a game or two, but I don't like the vibes I'm getting right now from the Cards. So the Las Vegas Raiders to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. My explanation for this is simple. The Cardinals have averaged under 20 points per contest in their last 7. Hopkins' absence directly impacts Arizona's ability to score quickly and often. Kyler was forced to play a lot of short pass offense for most of the Kansas City Week 1 game. If Hobbs and co. continue to limit big plays down the field, it will be difficult for Arizona's playmakers to find space in the secondary to open up the offense. I think the Raiders improve from their Week 1 turnover fest, and Carr makes smarter decisions with the football. Less less risky throws, a more concerted effort to involve Josh Jacobs in the offense, and the intermediate involvement of Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller will hopefully pace the Raiders and keep them controlled within the flow of the game. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bears versus Green Bay Packers. The Chicago Bears, coming off an improbably opening week win, travel to Wisconsin to take on their arch rivals, the Green Bay Packers, on Sunday night. The Bears took care of business last Sunday as they outlasted the San Francisco 49ers in what was essentially a waterlogged Soldier Field stadium in Chicago. The Packers' season, for the second straight year, got off to a rough start as they were dominated by a newly revamped Minnesota Vikings offense in Minnesota. Chicago started out slow against the 49ers, going into halftime with a 7-0 deficit. The Bears started to look better in the third quarter and eventually pulled off the 19-10 victory thanks to 12 points in the final quarter. Chicago QB Justin Fields threw just 17 passes in the win, completing 8 for 121 yards, 2 scores and a pick. Khalil Herbert managed 45 yards and a score off 9 carries, and Dante Pettis led the receivers with his 51-yard touchdown catch. Over on the Packers side, they opened up the season with quite a dud against the Vikings. Green Bay was down 17-0 by the break, and things didn't get much better from there. At game's end, the Packers had a 23-7 loss to start out the year at 0-1. Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers posted 2 of 3 passing for 195 yards and an interception. Aaron Jones led the rush on 49 yards from 5 carries, and A.J. Dillon was the top receiver with 5 catches and 46 yards. The Bears are 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 overall and 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 on grass. Chicago is 5-14 against the spread in their last 19 versus the NFC. Meanwhile, the Packers are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games in Week 2 and 7-2 against the spread in the last 9 at home. Green Bay is 9-3 against the spread in their last 12 in September. The Packers played a lethargic and poorly planned game last week in their opener against Minnesota, a 23-7 loss in a game that was not competitive. We have seen this before from the Packers after they opened up last season with an embarrassing game against the Saints. Rookie wide receiver Christian Watson dropped an easy touchdown, and the Green Bay offense looked out of sync without Davante Adams around. The Cheeseheads averaged 360 yards per game last year, and I know they will get it going against the Bears. They have owned Chicago over the years, and Aaron Rodgers is still behind center. Alan Lazard is expected to play, so he will have his underneath weapon back. Chicago was last in the NFL in yards per game last year and faces a strong Packers defense that allowed less than 320 yards per game a season ago. Chicago has failed to cover in 6 straight meetings. With a full week of preparation and a dominant home record against the Bears in his career, look for Rodgers and the Packers to grab an early lead and coast to a 2-possession victory. So the Green Bay Packers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Bears are offensively challenged for sure, but did manage to score 44 points in 2 games against the Pack last season with a completely inexperienced Fields. While I don't think the Bears will match the 30 points they put up in the second matchup with Green Bay last year, I do think that they'll put together a couple of sustained drives that will lead to points. Fields almost went without a running game because of the conditions on Sunday, but he should be able to utilize running back David Montgomery more in this game to some effectiveness against a Packers defense that allowed 4.5 yards per carry in Week 1. I guarantee we see a different Aaron Rodgers in Week 2, at home, in his comfort zone. Expect a heavy dose of both Jones and A.J. Dillon both carrying the ball and on passes out of the backfield. Rodgers will take his shots as well, giving his young wideouts a second chance to redeem themselves against a Bears secondary that can be exploited. The opening line was far too high, but this line, 10 points less, is just right. This line has dropped dramatically during the week, nearly 10 points from its original 51 total points. Strike while the iron is hot. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.